Hi, you guys. Thanks for being here and listening. So I wanted to talk about the reel I posted the other day. And so for those of you who are new here, my name's Brittany. I'm a wellness practitioner. I teach yoga, facilitate retreats, and do some one-on-one offerings. And I have a holistic wellness product line as well. And so the other day, I had a moment of, why are we giving so much power to social media? And what I mean by that is we've really pedestalized it, at least I have, in the sense that it's almost like if you don't have a successful social media, you can't have a successful business. And I think really coming to terms with that's not actually the case. You can have a really shitty social media and have a successful, thriving business. And I think we need to also define what those terms are for you. What do you see as a financially successful business, or are you looking for just interaction and clients? Like, what does a successful business mean to you? And so I did a post because I had a moment of like, why do I have 500 followers? So I originally removed my previous social media that had about 3,000 and started a new one because that other one just felt old and heavy. And so on my new account, I have about 524 followers when I did this post. And I was only getting 20 story views, 20. Real views, 200. Likes, anywhere from 9 to 16, out of 524 followers. And I know the algorithm is its own beast and entity on its own. But I was like, these people are following me, but they're not even engaging in my stuff. So like, why are they even here? Why are they even following me? And I decided to do a reel that I was like, look, if you're here and you're not engaging in my content and you don't have any interest in what I have to say or share, like just please unfollow me, because it's actually hindering my performance on Instagram. Because if my own followers aren't even engaging in my posts, the algorithm isn't going to give it to anybody else, because social media is a business. Well, this content isn't even engaging people who follow her. So why would we share it with people who don't follow her? Because they're not going to stay on the platform. They're going to just scroll by. They're going to lose interest. And that's what I mean when I say social media is a business. And we've created the monster ourselves. This has a through line to something, so stick with me. But we've allowed social media to have this hold on us. We've allowed it to give us a really short attention span. We've allowed it to influence us. And I mean, if you think back to way before social media, the internet, you know, we didn't always hear what was going on outside of our communities, outside of our towns, outside of our countries. And now we're seeing content from everywhere, every which angle. And I personally don't think our nervous systems were built to handle that. And it's bringing me back to this statement of conscious consumption. Excuse me. And so conscious consumption is everything from, in my opinion, what we put in our bodies, what we put on our bodies, what we take in with our senses. What are we consuming? What songs and sounds are we listening to? What clothing are we putting on our bodies? What food, what drinks are we putting in our bodies? What are we observing with our eyes and taking in? And social media thrives on unconscious consumption. It wants us to become zombies, to fall into the trap of doom scrolling and just following what it is suggesting to us and what ads are being pushed at us. And I did a test with this. I really consciously scrolled because I was like, I'm following 300 and some people and I'm not seeing any of their content. Like, what is this about? And so I decided to be really conscious with my scrolling. I would scroll, look, if it was suggested or an ad, I would scroll past it. And then when it was somebody I was following, I would look at the content and engage in it. And what happened was it had a pattern. It would be following content, suggested ad, following content, suggested ad, following content. So for every one follower, you had to look at a suggested ad or a suggested follow and an ad. And then when I started doing this and the Instagram, the algorithm picked it up, it started to shift. So it would be following ad, or it would be following suggested, or alternating the suggested and the ad. So I was like, interesting. So then I started practicing like that conscious scrolling and seeing the pattern. And then eventually it went to following ad, following suggested, following ad. And it created a new pattern for me because I was engaging in my following content. Like the people I was following, I was engaging in their content only. So the algorithm stopped showing me so many ads and so many suggested accounts. And I was like, interesting, how many of us are scrolling so unconsciously? And it's all of us. I mean, I'm guilty of it. It's all of a sudden you see this cute and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And you like it. You don't even see where it came from. And then the algorithm's like, got it. So they're going to keep showing you stuff that you liked, whether you're following or not. And that's when your feed gets blown up with content that you're not even following. And so in my opinion, following people to support them on social media isn't enough. And it's actually a disservice to the person you're following if you're not actively engaging in their content. Now, I'm not saying you need to go and find your followers and like their stuff, but be mindful when you're scrolling of what you're engaging in. What monster are you feeding? Are you feeding that beast of consuming anything and everything, or are you consuming mindfully? And I think we need to take this out into the world as well. I think we need to really be mindful of where we're shopping, what we're buying. If you've been here for a while, you know I am a huge fan of purchasing sustainable, organic, healthy, spray-free things, natural fibers, because if I continue to buy those things, the market in those areas is going to go up. It's just like the algorithm. If we continue to purchase trash, we're going to just get more trash. If we continue to consume consciously, we're going to have an impact and have more options of more conscious consumption. And if you're still here and listening, I would love to know how this resonates with you, where you see this in your life. Are you like, oh yeah, I actually am a really unconscious consumer when it comes to social media, or when it comes to my shows or in my environment, but I'm really conscious when it comes to what I put in my body, because we've been really taught and hammered in that what we put in our body supports us. But energetically, when we're taking in on all senses, all of that is contributing to our overall health and well-being. And so I would love to hear, how this is landing for you, how this resonates with you. And please feel free to comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. And I hope to share some more little tidbits with you down the line. So thanks so much for being here and sticking around.